years, and but it was only on paper. It was only on paper. We did not we didn't live together. When we got married, he was first in the Navy, and he said, I'm gonna go and get us housing or whatever. And I was 19 years old. And so 19, young and
Dumb.
ready to get out of mom and dad's house. Don't say that dumb part, good. But anyway,
Because you know what else come after that.
Not balance.
but I was ready to get out of the house, and I'm like, I was married now, so I'm like, okay. So he was like, I'm
Okay,
just gonna,
so
okay. He was like, I'm gonna go ahead get us housing, and I'm like, okay. Man, that house must have been like made of gold because he never got it. We never got there. After his 4 years in the Navy, he got into the Army. Um, didn't tell me, and he was just go move from post to post to post to post. But like I say, and I was young, and I was just basically begging him to be there for the family. But I never had it. And it used to be very hurtful, because, and I've asked him so many times, like, why? It wasn't a situation where it's like, oh my God, you just this, and it wasn't he just had an agenda, and he just needed what they say, like,
why
tax
did he get
write-off.
married? Why did he get married? That's the question.
I'm Listen to what I'm saying. When you're in the military,
Oh, that's
you
true.
get extra money for having
A
a
family.
wife, children.
Extra.
Yeah. You get extra money attached to everything. And
Wow.
so that's the only. And he left me to come up to my own with my own conclusion, because I've asked him so many times, like, just tell me why. And so, and it was real hurtful, but God healed me from that, because it was really, really hard, because I have two boys. Well, two men now. And my biggest prayer when my kids were growing up was for God to be a father to my children, because they were surely fatherless. And God did. I can't even stress that enough. Like, how much God helped me with that. Um, but yeah, so like
Wow.
you said, Shanita, you really have to have a both willing participants for you to be able to, co-parent, as they say, um,
So
because
everybody's situation is different, pretty much.
everybody's situation is different.
Now, did
And
you
but
have a village though? At least.
absolutely, I had my church family. My dad, until my dad passed when my oldest was about 9. Um, but he was there for them all the time. Then they had uncles, so they
Mhm.
did have a village, and and
Or-
God made sure that they didn't miss a beat. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I'll say this, and this goes back to, I can't remember who said it. When my sons, they are men, okay, but they have a hurtful, angry side
Mm.
that, my oldest, he's able to control his now, since he's older, and he's a pretty, like, a mild, laid back guy. So he's more tamed with his. My youngest, he's a sweet man, and I thank God that both my boys never got in no trouble or anything. But my youngest, he wears that hurt on his sleeve,
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. And that's
and
what she was just saying. How
yeah, yeah,
it affects the children in a different
yes,
way. Yeah.
yes. And it's the most, as a mother, as a parent, for you to see your children going through that, and you basically know the source. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
very hurtful it's very hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
But like I just continue to ask God to help them. Ask God to guide them, to order their steps. Because
Mm-hmm.
they are good men. They're it's just I know, and especially since they got older, certain things my dad probably would have taught them, if he were here, that they don't know, because they didn't grow up in the household. Even even when it comes down to me, I didn't have any guy friends around when my children were young because it was like they got either super attached quick or was like super angry because it wasn't their dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
what do you think, Margaret? Your opinion on that? I mean,
Well, I don't have children, but from what I have seen over the years, and I've seen the hurt of so many young people, whether it's a boy or girl, I've seen some young women be so promiscuous because they're looking for love in all the wrong places because they
Hmm.
thought because their dad left them, the question they always ask is, well, what did I do? What did I do to make him leave me? Why he didn't think I was worthy? And the worst part of it is when you hear young women and you hear them and you say, well, he married somebody else and he got kids with someone else and he doing this for them and he doing that, but he wasn't there for me. And they are angry because of that, because they feel, okay, how come they were good enough for you to stay with them, but you weren't good, but I wasn't good enough for you to stay with me? What did I do wrong? So you see, the thing is so many of them have suffered for one reason or another, whether it's a girl or whether it's a boy. Boys sometimes can be rebellious, whether the father's in the household or whether the father is not in the household. It just depends on how they're being raised. One thing I always say for any parent, woman or man, when you're raising boys and girls, is just don't always just say do what I say, because they're going to do what you do. My mom used to always say, a child is not only going to do what you say, they're going to do what you do. Whatever they see you do, you better be careful, because whatever they see you hear you say. And other things, like you notice a little child can be 1 year old, don't understand nothing you saying, but the moment they start talking, they use every choice word that you may have used around them.
Yeah,
So you got to be careful what you put in their ears and in their eyes, because whatever they see, they're going to duplicate it. They're going to emulate it. Young girls are going to emulate whatever they see their mama doing. Boys are going to do whatever they see, whether their father around or not. They're going to emulate whatever they see. And if they don't see it in the house, they're going to look for it outside. So you got to be prepared to teach them, okay, he's not here, but this is what you can do, because this is how I'm raising you. You can be the best man and the best version of yourself, not necessarily of your dad, of yourself, because maybe you could teach him something. It's like that movie that Tyler Perry made that time with the guy with the basketball, how
Meet the Browns.
Yeah, and he sat up there and didn't want nothing to do with him. He even said he wasn't gonna pay for a funeral because he thought the boy was dead. Then when the boy got this major contract as a basketball, he come up there. That's my boy. That's my boy. That's what's happening. You wait until these boys get famous and get not making this chatter. Then all of a sudden you want to be recognized as your father. Well, where was you when he was trying to go to Little League baseball or trying to play basketball or needed help with that homework, while mama was trying to do what she can do to take care of them kids and try to keep food on their table and clothes on their back? Where were you? So you don't get to take part in something that you didn't have no part of when they was coming up. And that's the thing. Shaquille said how when he was raised, his stepdad was the one who took care of him. Yeah, he has a biological father, but he let you know his stepdad was his father.
Yeah.
He's like, don't come trying to take part in my life now, but because you wasn't there when I needed you. You know, so that's what's important. This is that whoever takes the responsibility to raise